the year ended. I sat at my desk, staring at the final numbers. $1 million. Exactly 12 months after starting with $27 and no prospects. I couldn't believe it. Looking back, it was a whirlwind of sleepless nights, crises, unexpected partnerships, and insane growth. Every mistake, every risk, every failure had led me here. I realized that success wasn't just about the money. It was about resilience, learning to adapt, and never giving up, even when everything seemed impossible. I looked around at my small but dedicated team, my systems humming smoothly, and my brand recognized nationwide. We had turned chaos into structure, fear into opportunity, and a tiny idea into $1 million reality. I smiled, thinking about the journey, the failures, the victories, the surprises. 1 year ago, I had nothing. Now I had everything I had dreamed of, and more. The end. The final quarter of the year was a whirlwind. After weeks of preparation, negotiation, and meticulous planning, we signed the national retailer contract. The deal was massive, requiring large shipments, tight deadlines, and flawless execution, but it promised to push our revenue past 7 figures. The first shipments went out, and the response was overwhelming. Orders kept flooding in, social media buzzed, and for the first time, I saw the numbers that confirmed it. We were genuinely approaching $1 million in revenue. But, as always, there were last-minute surprises. Some shipments were delayed due to weather, a key supplier almost ran out of stock, and one of our marketing campaigns underperformed. Each obstacle was a reminder that scaling fast came with relentless challenges. Yet, somehow, everything fell into place. By the final month of the year, our sales, partnerships, and brand recognition were at their peak. The finish line was in sight, and the dream that began with $27, a borrowed laptop, and a small idea was about to become reality. By now, the year was flying by, and the numbers were climbing fast. Daily sales were consistently in the 5-figure range, partnerships were multiplying, and our brand recognition was stronger than ever. But as we approached the final quarter, a new challenge emerged. Competitors launched aggressive campaigns, and some clients began demanding discounts or threatening to switch to other brands. It felt like every victory came with a new obstacle. I spent late nights analyzing trends, optimizing marketing, and negotiating with key clients. Every decision mattered. One wrong move could cost tens of thousands of dollars in revenue. Then came a breakthrough. A major retailer wanted to stock our product nationally. This deal could push us over the 7-figure mark, but it required a huge upfront investment and flawless logistics. It was risky, terrifying, and exactly the kind of challenge that defined this insane year. For the first time, I truly realized how far I had come. From $27 and 0 prospects to negotiating deals that could create millions. The finish line was near, and every choice now would determine if the dream became reality. Just as the influencer campaign was peaking, disaster struck. Our main payment processor froze transactions due to unusual volume, leaving hundreds of orders in limbo. Customers were frustrated, some threatened chargebacks, and I felt the weight of potential collapse. I immediately jumped into action. Calls, emails, emergency meetings. It felt like firefighting a wildfire. My team worked non-stop to resolve payment issues, update customers, and coordinate shipping. Every hour was critical. Then another curveball. A rival company spread rumors online questioning the legitimacy of our business. Overnight, we were dealing with not just technical problems, but also reputational challenges. But through all the chaos, we adapted. I implemented backup payment systems, monitored social media for misinformation, and personally reassured key clients. By the end of the week, we had turned the crisis into a triumph. Customers praised our responsiveness, and sales surged even higher than before. It was exhausting, stressful, and exhilarating. I knew one thing for sure: the road to millions was never going to be smooth, but the thrill of overcoming each obstacle made it worth it. Just when I thought things couldn't get any crazier, an unexpected partnership offer came in. A well-known influencer, with millions of followers, reached out, offering to feature my product in a major campaign. The opportunity was huge, but risky. If the campaign failed, it could damage my brand's reputation. If it succeeded, however, it could multiply revenue overnight. After days of negotiations, strategy planning, and careful calculations, we agreed to launch a joint promotion. Within hours of the campaign going live, traffic exploded. Orders poured in faster than we could process. Our servers nearly crashed, and my team worked around the clock to keep up. It was chaotic, thrilling, and completely transformative. For the first time, I realized the true scale of what we were building. This wasn't just a small business anymore, it was a recognizable brand, gaining traction nationwide. And I knew the final stretch of the year would define whether we crossed the $1 million mark. Just when everything seemed to be going perfectly, problems started piling up. Competitors noticed my rapid growth and began undercutting prices, launching similar products, and trying to steal customers. At the same time, my small team was starting to crack under the pressure. Miscommunications, missed deadlines, and internal conflicts threatened to slow down operations. I realized that scaling too fast without solid processes could collapse everything. I spent late nights mediating arguments, reorganizing workflows, and personally training new hires. Every decision felt high stakes. One wrong move and months of progress could vanish. But these challenges taught me something crucial. Success isn't just about revenue. It's about leadership, team management, and being able to navigate chaos while keeping the vision alive. By the end of the month, we had survived the storm, improved internal systems, and learned how to handle competition strategically. And I knew the next steps would determine whether this year truly became historic. After agonizing over the exclusive partnership offer, I decided to take the risk. The platform featured my product, and the response was insane. Traffic exploded, sales went through the roof, and for the first time, I saw daily revenue numbers I had only dreamed about. But with success came new challenges. Shipping warehouses were overwhelmed, a few orders got delayed, and a handful of customers complained publicly on social media. I spent days personally handling crises, coordinating shipments, and calming angry clients. Then came an unexpected bonus. A major media outlet picked up the story. Suddenly, my small online hustle was being featured on news segments, podcasts, and blogs. Sales surged even more, and the first real seven-figure month was within reach. For the first time, it hit me. Going from zero to millions in a year was not just a dream, it was actually happening. After accepting the investor's offer, everything accelerated. I hired a small team, upgraded my website, and increased production. Orders began pouring in from multiple cities, and the revenue graph skyrocketed. It felt like we had unlocked a new level of the game. But rapid growth brought unexpected chaos. Inventory ran out faster than anticipated, shipping delays caused angry customer emails, and one day our website crashed during a flash sale. I spent hours on the phone with suppliers, tech support, and even personally packaging urgent orders. Then came a surprise twist. A large online platform reached out, offering to feature my product to millions of users. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but they wanted an exclusive partnership, limiting other sales channels. Turning it down could mean missing massive exposure. Accepting it risked alienating existing partners and customers. I realized that going from zero to millions wasn't just about making money. It was about making decisions under pressure, adapting fast, and surviving chaos without losing the trust one had built. Just as I was getting a handle on operations, an unexpected email appeared in my inbox. A potential investor had noticed my rapid growth and wanted to meet. They offered funding to scale the business exponentially, but with a catch. They wanted 30% equity and some control over decision-making. I was torn. On one hand, the funding could allow me to expand faster than I had ever imagined. On the other, giving up part of my fledgling business felt risky. I spent days debating, weighing the potential rewards against the loss of control. Finally, I decided to meet them in person. The meeting was intense, filled with tough questions and unexpected challenges. They pressed me on strategy, projected profits, and even my personal commitment. By the end, I realized they weren't just investors. They were partners who could either make or break the trajectory of my business. After hours of reflection, I made the decision. And that choice would send the next few months on a completely unexpected path, filled with both wild success and daunting challenges. A few weeks later, an unexpected opportunity appeared. A small business owner I had never met reached out, offering to help me market my product to a larger audience. They had a loyal customer base and promised to promote my items in exchange for a small commission. I was skeptical. After all, I had been burned before by overpromising partners. But I decided to take the risk. Within days, traffic to my website tripled, and sales soared. For the first time, I saw consistent daily revenue exceeding what I had imagined possible just months ago. However, with more orders came more complications. Shipping delays, inventory shortages, and customer complaints threatened to derail progress. I spent nights on calls, repackaging products, and personally ensuring each order reached its destination. Through the chaos, I realized a crucial lesson: growth doesn't just happen, you have to adapt, trust the right people, and act fast. And for the first time, I genuinely believed that $1 million year might actually be within reach. Just as things were picking up, reality hit hard. Unexpected expenses started piling up, shipping costs higher than anticipated, software fees I had overlooked, and taxes I hadn't planned for. Suddenly my $1 million year felt like it might collapse under its own weight. Then came a bigger surprise: a competitor launched a similar product at a lower price. Overnight, some of my customers started drifting away. I panicked, trying to figure out how to compete without slashing prices and losing profits. It was chaos. I spent nights strategizing, researching trends, and contacting suppliers for faster turnaround. I even experimented with small marketing stunts to grab attention. Some failed spectacularly, some worked just enough to keep me afloat. But in the midst of all this, I realized the key lesson: rapid growth is messy, unpredictable, and filled with crises. But every problem was also an opportunity to adapt, innovate, and get stronger. By the end of that month, not only had I recovered, but I had learned how to handle scale, and I knew the next few months could be explosive if I played my cards right. A couple of months into the hustle, something incredible happened. A mid-sized company stumbled across my website and reached out, not just for one order, but for a bulk purchase. Suddenly, I was dealing with hundreds of units at once, a scale I had never imagined. I panicked. My tiny home office was not equipped for this. I called my partner in a frenzy, and together we rented storage space, organized mini shifts for packing, and somehow managed to fulfill the order on time. The feeling when I hit ship for that bulk delivery? Electric. And then the next twist: the client loved the product so much, they referred us to another company. Within weeks, orders were piling up from multiple businesses. My small online hustle was turning into a full-blown operation. But the rapid growth also brought sleepless nights, tech glitches, and shipping disasters. Packages went missing, our website froze during peak hours, and I had to make countless late-night calls to calm irate customers. Every day felt like walking a tightrope. Still, for the first time, I saw a glimpse of the dream. Maybe, just maybe, this year really could be the one where I went from zero to millions. Just as sales were starting to pick up, something completely unexpected happened. A person from a completely different city contacted me, claiming they wanted to become a business partner. At first, I was skeptical. I had never met this person, and I barely trusted myself with money, let alone a stranger. But after a week of calls and Zoom meetings, I realized they had expertise I desperately needed, marketing and logistics experience I simply didn't have. We struck a deal. They would help scale my operations, and we'd split profits. Within days, my small side hustle felt like it was transforming into a real business. Orders doubled, then tripled. I had to stay up late just to keep up with packaging and shipping. But with growth came chaos. Mistakes were made, wrong addresses, delayed shipments, and an angry customer threatening a bad review on social media. I felt like the walls were closing in, but strangely, it made me more determined than ever. I realized one thing. If I could survive the chaos of the first month with a stranger as a partner, maybe this year could really be the year I went from zero to millions. After that first tiny sale, I was hooked. I spent every waking hour tweaking my website, studying marketing strategies, and figuring out how to reach more people. The next week, I sold 5 more items. Then 10. But it wasn't easy. My inventory was limited. I had to order small batches and sometimes wait days for delivery. Some customers complained, some packages got lost in the mail, and once my website crashed during a mini sale. I wanted to quit more than once. Then came a breakthrough. I discovered a niche social media group where people were actively looking for exactly what I was selling. I posted, answered questions, and shared small tips. Overnight, traffic to my website tripled. The first time I saw $500 in sales in a single day, I screamed so loud that my neighbors probably thought something terrible had happened. That small victory made me realize something important. Momentum is everything. So, it all started on a rainy Tuesday. I had exactly $27 in my bank account, a mountain of unpaid bills, and 0 prospects for a job. Honestly, I felt like my life was over. I was scrolling through social media when I stumbled across a post about people making money online, some kind of e-commerce, drop shipping, or investment scheme. I had no idea what I was doing, but something clicked. What if I just tried? I spent the next 3 days researching. I read every article, watched every YouTube tutorial, and even joined forums where people talked about making 6 figures in months. My head was spinning, but I realized one thing. I had nothing to lose. With $27, a borrowed laptop, and a free website trial, I started my first small venture. It was absurdly tiny, a niche product that I thought no one would want, but I listed it anyway. The first night, I sold 1 item. 1 item. And I celebrated like I'd won the lottery. That small victory lit a fire in me. I decided I was going to turn this year into the most insane, unpredictable, money-making year of my life.